Hi everyone, thanks for watching, and here we're going to be talking about the form widget for your pages, your websites, your funnels, your pop-ups, however you want to use the form. So we click on here on the widget button there, you'll see the form as one of the lead generation widgets. We're going to throw that in the page right there. Now, as you can see, when you drop it in the page, there are certain things that happen. Number one, it comes up with the form fields where you can actually request the information from the person that is filling out this form. We can actually customize these fields, and we can add fields and remove fields as well. You've also actually got a preview of the form right here. Let me move that to the side. So here you can see it's name, email, subject, message, name, email, subject, message. And of course the submit button at the bottom. Now, the first thing you think about is all the fields that you want to ask. If you're doing a generic lead magnet page where you're giving away a free report, free guide in return for their information, you may just want to ask for an email address or a name and an email address. An easy way to do that is to click on delete on a field. It'll confirm it, and it'll actually delete the fields that you don't want. So I'm going to show you how to add fields in just a few minutes here. So there we're left with a name and an email address. You can see with a little asterisk beside them, they are actually required. And we click on the settings for this field, for example. Short description, I would leave that for now. You don't need it for the standard custom fields that are already in the system, but you may want to put in a description for the field if you're creating a brand new one you want to ask information. The light text appearing when the field is empty is going to be in the white box here. So what we could do is please enter your name, or what do you want me to call you. Alright, so we're there, and you can see the text just appeared right there. Please enter your name, and it's mapped to a CRM property. Now if you're creating a new field, you may want to connect this to a field that you've already got in the system. You can see these are the ones that have already been pre-created for you, or you can actually define it as a new CRM property. What that means is when they fill this box in, if it's not one of the original ones, if you map it to a CRM property, it becomes part of their member record or part of their contact record in the future. Okay. Add a prefix icon. You can actually put an icon in the front of here, whatever you feel like doing. You can see it's added an icon, and you can actually check or uncheck required, and as you can see it removes or adds the asterisk. So if you just say I want your name but I definitely need your email address, you can actually leave one as not required and one as required, and you can do that for every single field that you've actually got within the form. And as you can see, we've currently got 2 because we deleted a couple. However, we need to add a field, right? So here we're going to add a new field. These are the standard ones, the common ones that are actually in here. So for example, if you wanted to stop the bots filling in forms and filling up your contact list, you can actually just add a capture form. That stops 99.9% of the bots going around just trying to find forms to fill in. They've got to confirm that they're not a robot. So you can actually add that to your forms, which is a great way to do it if you're doing lead generation and it's getting out everywhere. Another type of field you can have: phone number, an address, city, state, zip, or postal code, the country they're in, the company name if it's a company application, a website, accept the terms and conditions. Great for GDPR and other rules and regulations from around the world. Then you can actually start adding some additional fields that you may want to add. You can even include a hidden field, and you can even include a field where they can actually upload a file for you to actually see it, and just keep adding fields as you want. Again, keep it as simple as possible for people that don't know you, because the more information they've got to give you, the less likely they are if they don't know you, like you, and trust you. So that's it for the settings. These little arrows here actually make it so you can actually make these boxes smaller. So if we shrink the name, you'll see the box shrinks there. We shrink the email, and it'll actually put them side by side on the same form. Great for quick information if you want to make the form shorter. I don't think it's necessary on this form, but you may want to do that depending on where on the page it's going. So that's it for the fields side of it, right? So the next what we've got to do is worry about the styling and the settings. Okay, the settings is what happens when somebody completes that form. What happens when they give you the information? I would give it a name, because you'll start to use multiple forms in multiple places, and if you have one form that you're using on a number of different pages, it would be a great way to remember the form and copy it so you can actually move it around instead of having to create a new form from scratch each time. So this could be just an opt-in for lead magnet, however you want to fill that out. There's a place to actually notify you on a new form submission, or notify anybody that on a new form submission. This is the email that needs to be notified that somebody has filled in this form. If it's you by yourself or you've got admin that deal with this, you can actually do the notification. If you didn't check the box, no notification goes out. If you check the box, add an email in here, your email address, your admin's email address. You can change the text on the bottom to submit, join, whatever text you actually want to put. You can do something simple, get started today, and again, if you just move down to the next box, you can see that's changed. The next thing to do is what happens when they actually fill out that form. What do the users see once they filled it out? You can do a thank you message, or you can actually tell them to go to a page. So a thank you message would be whatever you type in this box here. Okay. It literally, on the page they're on when they fill in this form, it will show a text box above the form or just as where the form is. Thanks for filling out this form. If you want them to go to a page, which most people do, you can actually click on go to page and choose one of your pages as a thank you page for actually filling out the form. Now, a great way to use the thank you page is what's the next step that you want this person to take when they fill out the form. It may be that you want them to download a free report and you've put it on the page. You can actually make the page the thank you page for the ebook free report download page. You could take them to a calendar that you've got set up to book an appointment with you. You could take them to your store or a certain product within your store to actually encourage them to buy something. And the really cool thing about this is you can pass submitted values in the URL of the next page. What does that mean? What that means is if I fill out a form and I put my name down as Steve with my email address on there, the next page could include my name, Steve, right in the middle of the page saying, hey, thanks Steve for filling out the form, here's your free download, or here's your report, or here's your guide. Don't need to do it all the time, it depends on how you set up the pages, but if you want to customize the actual feel for that person, they see their name on the next page. That is so cool. It works best if you actually make sure that these are required, because if somebody doesn't fill in their name, it would go, hey, exactly, no name, right? So depends on how you want to do that. And then you get to actually connect it to the email marketing. Why is this separate? Well, here's the deal. Anybody that gets added to your contacts but doesn't get added to your email marketing, you're not going to send emails to. However, they could still buy your products and services and get the email reminders from them. However, you also may want to email them in the future for future offers, future special offers, free reports that you're also sending out, special, anything you want to build that relationship, nurture that lead. You'll want to add them to a list within your system. So what you do is you click on select lists. It comes with a standard default list, but you can actually create any list you want. So if this is a form about journaling, for example, you may want to create a list just for those people that were interested in journaling. That way, when you mark it later on, you can actually send emails about journaling to the people that are interested in journaling. If all you're doing is getting them to fill in their form so you can actually build your contact list, so maybe later on you add them to a list when your product's ready, you can actually market to them later on. But in the context, they don't count towards your subscribers. In your emails, they do count towards the subscribers. The last thing you've got on this form, this part of the form, is tag contacts. What this allows you to do is if somebody fills in a form, yes, you can add them to a list about journaling, but you could also have 3 forms that go to the journaling list. By tagging them, you can actually say which form they came from. Did they find it on a special offer page? Did they find it on your website? Did they find it on a funnel? And you can actually tag them based on the actions they took to get on that list. As well as having a list of those that are interested in journaling, for example, you can actually have 3 different ways that they came in and know which person came in through which way by tagging the contacts. And just enter a tag name, journaler, whatever that means, click add, and it will add it to the tag, and you can actually add multiple tags to a person that fills out the form. So that's the actual form settings. So we've done the fields, we've done the settings, now it's the styling. What do you want it to look like? Labels and fields. Label color, change it to one of your primary colors so it stands out. The field's background color is this white here, so if your page is off-white, that will stand out quite nicely. However, if your page is the same color, you may want to change the background field. The field's text color, which is this light color in here, telling them what to do. And then the field's border, so there's actually a very fine border around this. And what it shows here is the font size, so you can change the font size for the actual label name. The border radius, which rounds the corners of the forms. You can see the rounding on the edges there. Just see these are rounded here. And then you've got the text font, which you can change to however you want, whatever font that you're comfortable with. And that's the labels and fields styling there. Then you've got the styling for the buttons. So again, going back to the primary colors, what we'll want to do is change it to maybe a primary color that you've got. Border color, let's put a border color on here. We'll go to a black border. Okay, now what we need to do with the border is actually change it to a number on the border size, so you can actually see it there. So there's the border size, border color. Add a gradient, which means you can actually change a gradient or add a gradient to a button, so it changes across the actual style and change the gradient settings. You've got the text style again. What we're going to do is just make that a little bit bigger so it can stand out. You can actually bold it so it stands out even more. You can see we've got a lot of styling options for the actual button. You can actually add a shadow to the button so it stands out on the page by creating an extra layer behind it. And I found that about 12-13 is a great way to do that. So you can see now we've made it with a shadow outside just to look a little bit 3D. The border radius, again, you can actually round the borders however you want on that. Expanded to full width means basically within this area, is it going to be full width or is it going to fit the text that you actually put in there? And you can see by unchecking that, it will actually change the button size to match the text. If we put longer text in there, the button will get bigger and eventually the text will wrap. Button alignment is center, left or right. Very simple. Obviously the button moves left, center or right. And then the hover effect, lots of transitions for buttons. What we can do is actually, if they hover over the button, it can grow, change color, fade in, grow and shadow. If we click on grow, for example, you saw that just move there. We click on pop, it will bang out, if you like, so it pops on the page. Lots of ways to make things stand out on your forms. Remember, these are actually designed to encourage your visitors to your page to actually take action on the page. So try not to make them too ugly like I've just done. And then final, the layout. How will they feel? You got stacked, or you can actually line them in a row. Looks terrible on this sort of layout, but if we were actually going to go to full width on the page without a margin, you can see that because they're actually able to do this, we can basically line them up in a very, very narrow box across the page, so it doesn't make the page deep, but you still get their information. This is a great way to do just an inline quick fill out this form and be a part of whatever you've got going on from a form. So a lot of options with the forms, a lot of options for styling, layout and everything else. Have fun with it. If you get any questions, reach out to me at support@contentforcoaches.help. Thanks for watching.